Call of Duty is it's basically becoming one of the top 10 games. It's like top 6, and people are asking, people still play Warzone? Yeah, it's making billions of revenue, and it probably will for the foreseeable future because it's so addicting. But here we have Call of Duty movie. New season streaming fall 2026. Again, it's bound to happen. Streaming is a huge, huge form of entertainment, and a lot of these video games, Halo, are going into streaming.
Welcome back to a brand new video. Over the last couple of days, we talked about how Activision and Paramount were in talks to gain access to the rights to create a Call of Duty movie. Well,
I mean, this is going to be a big, big deal. This is on Paramount, so this is going to be big actors, probably big directors, and I'm guessing some sort of a more serious tone. It's not going to be like Beavis and Butthead running around Black Ops. It's 10 times bigger than people expect.
It looks
Black Ops movie is big, guys, and fall 2026 is not that far, which tells me they've been streaming it for a while.
Those talks fully went through and they came to an agreement, and now a Call of Duty movie is now officially in the works. So we have all the details and everything that you need to know about that. If you do find the video informative at any point, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. So the first thing is Paramount and Activision's deal is signed for a one live action movie, but it also gives Paramount the rights to also expand Call of Duty to different TV shows and other films. So
I mean, that's pretty normal. If the first series do well, they can do like a second. A lot of movies do that for movie productions.
Depending on the success and what they see from this first live action movie that they create, they can expand and dive deeper into the world of Call of Duty. Now, this is what Paramount said about this. Under this milestone partnership, Paramount will develop, produce, and distribute a live action feature film based on Call of Duty, designed to thrill its massive global fan base by delivering on the hallmarks of what fans love about the iconic series. While boldly expanding the franchise to entirely new audiences, both companies are committed to honoring the brand's rich narrative and distinctive style, promising an authentic and exciting experience for longtime fans and newcomers alike. Now, they use a lot of buzzwords here, but the most important thing is, from my understanding, it looks like they're gonna actually base it off Call of Duty in terms of the story. And
I mean, that's good. Call of Duty has already a great story. Look what happened with Borderlands. They don't need to change it. It's absolutely perfect anyway. So that's good. No need to change that. And again, if the first movie does well, there's going to be more to that, just like Fallout got a season 2. That's why they got this deal.
I'm not going to try to come up with like a Call of Duty original storyline or something like that, which would definitely, in my opinion, be going the wrong direction, and I'm pretty sure many of you guys would agree with that. Now, the next thing that they went ahead and said, we are approaching this film with the same disciplined, uncompromising commitment to excellence that guided our work on Top Gun Maverick. So they're not even talking about Halo, because we know how their reenactment and the season of Halo turned out, but they said they're going to take it to a different approach and follow Top Gun Maverick, which was a blockbuster hit. And then they said ensuring it meets,
I mean, I would love some stealth missions, so that would be nice,
the exceptionally high standards this franchise and its fans deserve. The Paramount CEO follows up saying, I can promise that we are resolute in our mission to deliver a cinematic experience that honors the legacy of this one-in-a-million brand, thrilling longtime fans of Call of Duty while captivating a whole new generation. And with these words, they're giving the fan base quite a bit of hope. We have really high standards for a Call of Duty movie. It's something that's never been done before. In the past, it was something that they attempted to do, but it always fell short.
And I guess also budget funds, or maybe like the story wasn't good enough. Now they really invested in good writers. They have a good story. Literally movie level of story, and that's like a big brand IP to do here.
This time around, considering they now have the rights and they are going to start working on it, this is something that we may end up seeing in theaters, and hopefully it's actually good. Now, alongside this, people were very skeptical because we saw what they did with Halo. They had a couple of comments and things to say about that. Now, this also puts...
Yeah, but Halo is completely different, in terms of aspect. I feel like people learn from Halo, like a lot of movie directors learn from the movie.
heavy pressure on Paramount because they weren't the only ones
Look at this level of detail. You could put that in the video game.
competing to get the rights of Call of Duty. They actually were the ones who ended up getting it, but someone else wanted them as well. Now, Charlie Intel posted this. He said Steven Spielberg wanted to direct a Call of Duty movie and even pitched his vision and idea to Activision. Activision was spooked for the reason that Spielberg wanted.
I mean, he wants full control because he wants to make an awesome movie. That's the reason. They thought that he will change the story too much, but he wants to add his own stuff. Like, that's an amazing. Personally, I would just try to make 2 movies and go for it.
Full control of the movie and its direction, and instead they went ahead and made the deal with Paramount. Now, and here's the reason why. It says, according to 3 of Baloney's sources, the Saving Private Ryan director teamed up with Universal to pitch the COD.
Now that's good. Now that's a good director, That's why I feel like, deal include a top of the market economics, final cut, and full control over production and marketing. This is the problem. Production and marketing. What if they want to introduce some stuff inside? Maybe they want to mix it with skins or the game, and Spielberg says no. This is why they didn't like this deal. He could control how much they spend, what they spend.
Movie to Activision. However, Spielberg's deal included top of market economics, final cut, and full control over the production and marketing. Activision reportedly got spooked by this and instead went with Paramount CEO and chairman David Ellison's pitch.
I mean, they're both but perfect in terms of movie industry. So it's not really it is bad that Steven Spielberg didn't work, but it's not like they're not going to work with him in the future.
The official announcement, Ellison said, as a lifelong fan of Call of Duty, this is a dream come true. So now we know that Paramount has the rights to it, but the question is, who's going to be the director? We still don't have that information as of right now. Now, the thing about this, they follow up and say that we don't know who's making Paramount's COD movie yet, but Extraction director Sam Haygraves said there's potential in a Warzone movie. And this is speaking to Deserto in 2023. He said anytime an IP
So potentially they were building in secret and it's now coming out.
Exists that there's a huge fan base for and has a cinematic quality like a Warzone type thing, I think there's always potential there. Now, before we talk about that, one other thing is, according to Hunter, he says that COD World War II's campaign is inspired by a Steven Spielberg movie. So the fact that they actually said no to him is a little crazy. And imagine if he was the one who directed a Call of Duty movie. I feel like this definitely would be.
I mean, yeah, that would be so campaigned by Steven Spielberg movie, and they said no and gave it to Paramount. I mean, didn't he make Saving Private Ryan? Who's this Steven Spielberg? Saving Private Ryan director. Steven Spielberg. Yeah, I mean, that would be an amazing movie, and he's a lifetime COD fan. But yeah, what can you do? They weren't fully confident he could make the movie, but who knows? He knows the lore. I think it could be a mistake, but the issue is, what if he wants to spend a lot of money in the movie and it flops? That's what they're worried about. They want to have, their own pals as well over control.
Imagine if he was the one who directed a Call of Duty movie. I feel like this definitely would be better than what Paramount is planning on giving us. There's still hope that maybe Paramount could reach out to him and then hire him as the director and then follow his guide through this, and maybe it could be a successful movie. Now,
I mean, he will want to do it on his own terms to protect his legacy as well.
The major question that I know many of you guys have is, what is this movie going to be based on? There is so much story, there's so much material that they can use for a Call of Duty movie that we could probably get a movie every single year for like the next 20 years. At the moment, I don't think it's gotten that deep yet, so they still haven't begun casting anyone. They haven't really gotten scripts or anything like that done, meaning it's a little early before we figure that information out, but there's quite a bit of things they can do. First off, they can just start off with Modern Warfare. That's a series that they can follow through, create this.
They can just see and ask people what's the best story and just make a story of that. I feel like people would even watch a remake.
Story based on that. Maybe have the Task Force 141 members as a part of the crew. Maybe even bring in some of the actors that we had over the last few Modern Warfares to recast them and play their own characters. That would make the most sense, right? And then follow through with that. Later on, maybe they could jump into like a TV series or something to feature the Black Ops storyline, or maybe
Like
start
it's already movie level. Like they got a script, they got everything. All they need to do is make some changes.
a
And
different
pacing.
movie series for that. And then there's also the zombie storyline, and that gets deep. It's probably one of the most well-written things that I've seen in a while. Zombies has just been going on
Now I feel like they could put it in 2 movies, right? That's why Paramount made a deal. Hey, we can make a zombies movie in the future.
for years and years, and it gets more and more complex, and I feel like a movie explaining everything would be something that people would love to see. And then there's also the Warzone story and side of things that they talked about in the actual, like, the blog that they posted over on Deserto. So what are your thoughts and opinions? What do you want to see Call of Duty do first? But once you get more information, they're probably going to start giving us information on who they're casting, what's going on with that, and we may get consistent updates on that. And right now, it's still very, very early, so this is something that we probably won't be seeing for a couple of years. Maybe next year we'll get...
Don't we get like fall 2026 in the thumbnail? I feel like that wasn't real, but yeah, maybe 3 years. Again, maybe they could rush it. First look deal with Paramount to star in major theatrical movies. Wow, okay.
Paramount to star in a major theatrical movie based on IP owned by Paramount. His production company will also develop original major films for the studio. And the majority of the replies are, is he going to be a Call of Duty character? Is he going to be, who's he going to be playing? Does this have to do with Call of Duty? And some people were saying, oh, maybe he's coming in as like Captain Price or something like that. But from what I'm reading here, it looks like this is an IP owned by Paramount, so not something they have the rights to, meaning that it's not Call of Duty, and this is something...
I don't think Will Smith will cast in Call of Duty. I think it will be like, you know, someone like this story would be absolutely perfect.
They finish the talking and the agreement stuff, and then once they get into working on it, we'll have updated information. But that is all that I have for you guys here in today's video.
Very decent video. Like, again, these guys could make this story real. Smash that like button. I'll keep you guys updated with more news. I'm going to catch some rest. Until next time, peace everyone.